Okay, how many of you guys would enjoy being cold, alone, or hungry here? No one? We got one. Okay. And how would you guys enjoy being scared that you might not be able to see your parents again, or you don't know when you're going to be able to see them? Well, imagine if this was the case to someone you know, a little cousin, nephew, niece, sibling. It would be very distressing. So that's why today I'm going to be talking to you guys and proving why migrant child detention centers need to be completely abolished from the United States. So I chose to talk about this topic because I feel like the general public needs to be more aware about the things that are going behind the scenes in America, because some of these injustices could be hindering people's inalienable rights that America is known for. So I have researched numerous peer-reviewed scientific articles, government documents, and newspaper articles about this topic. So today I will be discussing, first of all, the background information on how this problem came to be, why it's so negative and should be removed, and some of the solutions we can do to fix this problem. So first of all, I will provide some background context on the migrant child detention centers. So the zero tolerance policy is a policy that was passed recently that allows for the separation of children from their families. According to the government article, Attorney General announces zero tolerance policy for criminal illegal entry by the U.S. Department of Justice. This policy was created to stray people away from crossing the border illegally, and it also states that severe legal punishments would occur if you do not follow this policy. And then it has also been stated that the entry into the United States legally has also been more difficult in recent years, causing a chain reaction. So more people that are trying to flee from negative stuff from their where they used to live, they would try to cross it illegally because it's hard to get in legally. And this is according to the article, Crossing the Border, Latino Attitudes Towards Immigration Policy, written by Amy Stringer and published by the Journal of International Migration and Integration. So, next I will be discussing why the centers are a serious problem to the health of children and their families. So first, in a peer-reviewed scientific article titled Mental Health of Children Held at a United States Immigration Detention Center by Sarah McLean, Priscilla Eigman, Joshua Walter, Elizabeth Singer, Kian Baranowski, and Craig Katz, published by the Journal of Social Science and Medicine, children that are forcibly separated from their parents and family show an increase in emotional problems, peer problems, total difficulties, conduct, and hyperactivity. The facilities are also known to have poor living space, poor conditions in clothing, food, and more. And surprisingly, this has led to reported deaths of children that have been detained by the U.S., and this could occur through them falling ill, malnutrition, and other symptoms. Furthermore, according to the peer-reviewed article, 20 years after IIRIRA, The Rise of Immigration Detention and Its Effects on Latin Communities Across the Nation, written by Melina Juarez, Barbara Gomez Aguinaga, and Sonia Betez, and published by the Journal of Migration and Human Security, encounters with ICE or being sent to detention centers usually have traumatic effects on Latin families in America as well. So it could be seen how having one family's children sent to one of these centers could have a traumatic impact on their health. However, not all people in America find this situation to be a problem. For example, in the government document, Attorney General Sessions addresses recent criticisms of zero tolerance by church leaders by the U.S. Department of Justice. Attorney General Jeff Sessions believes that the placement of these children into these centers are warranted, and it is the price to pay for attempted entry. So he says you should not try to do it in the first place if you don't want this to happen. So it is understandable that it is illegal entry, so punishment has to happen. But it should not be done through migrant child detention centers because they're unethical and have even showed children dying. So another argument is these centers are good because it would be, they would send them there instead of jail with their parents, but sending them to a location that has also poor conditions and without their family members is almost as worse. So, lastly, I'm going to be going over some potential solutions and the best ways to end these facilities. So first of all, extensive protests to change governmental policies needs to be done. So the zero tolerance policy could have the removal of these centers, and it would be less strict for immigration. These protests are shown to be very effective already because it has already shut down some child migrant detention centers. And for example, a vibrant and more artistic example of a protest is right here. So people will set up cells outside popular locations, have children sit in them for a little bit, or regular people, just to show like a stronger message. And in the article mentioned before, mental health of children held at a United States Immigration Detention Center, they also suggest mental health screening, release into the community, and mental health care for the children. Juarez and her contributors from earlier before, policy, they believe that policy transparency needs to happen, where the government's more transparent, and that they also believe in the ending of detention centers. So lastly, media coverage is also another way that could help end this problem, because if camera crew members were to go inside these facilities and to film poor conditions, it would expose this to the public and would hurt the reputation of the country and higher up politicians, which is not a good thing, so they would take action and try to end this. So these are just some solutions that will help end migrant child detention centers. So I have discussed how this problem arose, some of the negative effects making this a problem, and why, or some of the solutions of how this can be solved. So it all comes down to like a morality and ethical issue. So if you don't support the potential killing of innocent children, then it shows that these centers have got to go. Thank you.